Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Wanted to seek the blessing of Radha Madhav, Radha Shyamsundar Krishna Balaram Bal Gopal, Radha Damodar Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Nrsimhadev Bhagwan, Gaunitai Tulsimani Haridas Thakur, Guru Parampara Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, and the assembled devotees. So, 76th chapter of the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavad Puran, entitled The Battle Between Shalva and the Vrishnis. This chapter relates how the demon Shalva acquired a huge and terrifying airship, how he used it to attack the Vrishnis in Dwaka, and how Lord Pradumna was taken from the battlefield during the fighting that ensued. Shalva was a friend of Shishupal, and he was one of the kings who had been defeated at the time of Rukmini Devi's marriage. Having vowed then that he would rid the earth of all the Yadavs, he began worshipping Lord Shiva each day by eating only a palmful of dust. Crikey. After a year had passed, Lord Shiva appeared before Shalva and asked him to choose a benediction. Shalva begged for a flying machine that could go anywhere and that would strike terror in the hearts of the demigods, the demons, and humans alike. So this guy was a real crazy fellow. Lord Shiva granted this request and had Maya Danava construct for Shalva a flying iron city named Shobha. This unsaleable vehicle was filled with darkness and could go anywhere. Shalva took this vehicle to Dwaka, where he and his huge army laid siege to the city. From his aeroplane, Shalva bombarded Dwaka with tree trunks, boulders, other missiles, and he produced a mighty whirlwind that obscured everything with dust. So perhaps this is a bit of an idea, but not too sure. When Padumna, Satyaki, and other Yadu heroes saw the plight of Dwaka and her residents, they went out to do battle with Shalva's forces. A tumultuous, hair-raising battle then commenced between Shalva's forces and the Yadus. It equaled the great battles between the demons and the demigods. The magic airship built by Maya Danava appeared in many identical forms, and the next moment it was again only one. Sometimes it was visible, sometimes not. Thus Shalva's opponents could never be sure where it was. From one moment to the next, the Shobha airship appeared on the earth, in the sky, on a mountain peak, or in the water. Like a whirling, flaming baton, it never remained in any one place. The Yadu commanders destroyed with their divine weapons all of Shalva's illusory magic, and they also bewildered Shalva himself. Thus Shalva's airplane began wandering aimlessly on the earth, in the sky, and on tops of mountains. Interesting. But then a follower of Shalva named Numan, who had previously been wounded by Sri Padumna, struck Padumna on the chest with his club. Whereupon Padumna's chariot driver, the son of Daruka, so Daruka is Krishna's chariot driver, yeah, and his son is the chariot driver of Padumna, which is phenomenal. Thinking his master seriously injured, carried him from the battlefield. But Padumna quickly regained consciousness and severely criticized his driver for doing this. His reputation had now been stained for abandoning the battlefield, and people would laugh at him. However, the driver replied that he had done his duty to protect Padumna when he was in danger. It's a tough job being a chariot driver, and Krishna, you know, he was a chariot driver of Arjuna. Arjuna would give him quite a hard time sometimes, kicking him here and there just to move the chariot in one direction or another. But this is the humility of the Lord, and Padumna is also an expansion of the Lord. So this is their humility. Oh no, Daruka's son was the chariot driver of Padumna. So even the devotees are very humble. They take this position of chariot driver, and it's such a humbling position. Anyway, let's do another chapter, 77. Lord Krishna slays the demon Shalva. This chapter describes how Lord Sri Krishna disposed of Shalva, this master of deception, and destroyed his airship Shobha. After refreshing himself with water, putting on his armor, and picking up his bow, Lord Padumna, so definitely is one of the expansions of Krishna, ordered his driver to take his chariot once again into the presence of Duman. As Padumna fought with Duman, and with four of these arrows, he struck Duma's 4 horses with 1 arrow, his driver, and with 2 more arrows, his bow and chariot flag, and with the last arrow, Duman's head. Other Yadu heroes like Gada, Satyaki, and Samba began to create havoc amongst Shalva's army, and the soldiers inside the airship began falling into the ocean, their necks severed. The battle continued in this way between the Yadus and Shalva's followers for 27 days and nights. Wow. This is quite a battle. During this siege, Lord Krishna was still in Indraprasth. So he was attending the Rajasuya ceremony, which was held by King Yudhishthira. And he stayed on after that ceremony. Now that the Rajasuya sacrifice had been completed and Shishupal killed, the Lord began to see inauspicious omens. So he took leave of the Kuru elders and the great sages, and also of Pratha, and that's Arjun, and his son and her sons. Oh, Pratha is actually Kunti, yeah, and her sons, and returned to Dwarka. The Lord thought the kings partial to Shishubal may well be attacking his capital city. When Lord Krishna entered Dwarka, he found it under siege by Shauva and his Shobha airship. And Krishna saw how his people were threatened with destruction. Lord Keshav arranged for the city's defenses and then ordered Daruka to drive him onto the battlefield, warning Daruka that Shalva is a powerful magician and not to let him bewilder Daruka. Suddenly Shalva noticed the Lord and threw his spear, which lit up the whole sky with a mighty meteor, at Krishna's charioteer. But the Lord shattered the weapon into hundreds of pieces and pierced Shalva and his Shobha vehicle with numerous arrows. Shalva responded by shooting an arrow that struck Krishna's left arm. Amazingly, the Lord dropped the saranga bow he was holding in his left hand. This is the glory of the Lord. He will sometimes allow his opponents to overpower him. Of course, here he wasn't overpowered, but he lost his bow. Those who witnessed all cried out in dismay. Then the master of Shobha roared loudly and addressed Lord Janardhan. You fool! Because in my presence you kidnapped the bride of our friend Shishupal. That's of course Rukmini, your own cousin, and because you later murdered him in the sacred assembly when he was inattentive. Today with my sharp arrows I will send you to the land of no return. Though you think yourself invincible, I will kill you now if you dare stand before me. The Supreme Lord replied, Oh, Dalad, you boast in vain, since you fail to see death standing near you. Real heroes do not talk much, but rather show their prowess in action. Having said this, the furious Lord swung his club with frightening power and speed, and hit Shalva on the collarbone, making him tremble and vomit blood. But as soon as Lord Achyuta withdrew his club, Shalva disappeared from sight. A moment later, a man came before Lord Krishna and after offering him obeisances, introduced himself as a messenger from Mother Devaki. The man informed the Lord that his father Vasudeva had been kidnapped by Shalva. So Shalva was a pretty powerful personality. Upon hearing this, Lord Krishna seemed to lament like an ordinary man, stating that how did Balaram, who is ever vigilant and no demigod or demon can defeat him, how did this have happen? Because Balaram is very, very vigilant normally. So how could this insignificant Shava defeat him and abduct my father? Indeed, fate is all powerful. Shalva then led forward someone who looked just like Vasudeva, decapitated him, and took the head with him into his Shobha airship. For a moment, out of great affection for his loved one, Krishna remained absorbed in the mood of an ordinary human being. However, he could understand that this was the magic tricks of Shava. Now alert to the actual situation, Lord Achyuta saw before him on the battlefield neither the messenger nor the father's body. It was as if he had awakened from a dream. Seeing his enemy flying above him in his Shobha plane, the Lord then prepared to kill him. Thus he pierced Shava with a shower of arrows and struck the Shobha vehicle with his club, demolishing it. Shava descended from his aeroplane and rushed towards Lord Krishna to attack him. But the Lord took up his Sudarshan disc and severed Shava's head from his body. Then the demigods in the sky played kettle drums in jubilation. The demon Dantavakra then took a vow to avenge his friend Shava's death. So this is Krishna using his Sudarshan, or chopping off the head at least of Shava. Okay. Yeah, let's stop there. So, Ramdullah Prabhu, anything you want to add?
No problem. Very nice. Katha today.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavad Puran ki jai, Shri Krishna
Ki jai.
ki jai.